The time is now. The time for you to take action, the time for motivation, the time to really press into your identity is now. Too often we have so many societal pressures that tell us this is the way it should be, or this is the way that we should act, this is the way that we should live, but that's not the case. Unfortunately, most of us have grown up with a set of standards, and those standards could be good, they could be bad, they could be ugly even. But the most important thing that you should recognize is that does not solely define who you are, especially for those of you that are starting to feel the urge that there is something different. There is something different about myself, about the way that I interact, the way that I think, the way that I do. And that's because we have this inner desire to be a champion in life and champion in the world. And not only that, but a champion for ourselves. And so I would just encourage you to continue being forged by the fire. Continue being in opportunities that allow yourself to learn who you are. Because if we're not having those challenging conversations, if we're not having those challenging thoughts, those questions of why am I who I am? Why am I doing this? How can I be better? Those questions are inner reflections that the world is not going to tell us. The world is going to tell us this is how it is, this is how it should be, this is who you are based upon your societal status or the car you drive or the house you live in, the job you have, the security you may or may not have. That's what society is going to tell you. But the root of it is what you think about yourself and what you know about yourself. So I would challenge you to start asking yourself the difficult questions. And it's not easy because we have jobs, we have families, we have people that we have to interact with, we have responsibilities that we have to focus on. And that's okay. However, if there's one thing that I've realized over the past month in preparation for speaking events and conferences and shaking hands and looking at people in the eyes and understanding more about their story, the focus that I would just remind you is to say yes to yourself. Maybe it's 5 minutes a day. Maybe it starts with a minute a day because you're going 90 miles an hour. As long as you start somewhere, that is the purpose. Because once we start, that's when we're able to expand our thoughts. That's when we're able to ask the challenging questions. If you're a writer, write. If you're a speaker, speak. If you don't want to do any of that, but you like to run or you like to walk or you like to be outside, go do that for a little bit a day. And I would encourage you to think about ways to prioritize yourself, because if you don't, then you'll continue to pour the cup for other people. And then that's going to leave you with an empty cup for yourself. And that allows for depletion. Because when you don't continue to pour the cup for yourself, when you're pouring for other people, that's when ultimately disaster strikes. Because we've reached our max capacity and we didn't even know it, but that max capacity is actually not full potential. It's actually on the other end of the spectrum, and it's full depletion. And so whenever we think about ways that we can interact and be intentional, I would just encourage you, I would remind you to say yes to yourself, because nobody else will. They can encourage you, they can direct you, They can provide thoughts and opportunities for you to consider. But at the end of the day, whenever you lay your head on the pillow at night, you're the only one that does that. You're the only one that lives in that moment. Nobody else. And so, as society pressures us in a lot of different ways, I would encourage you to rise up. Rise up individually. Rise up for your own inner champion that is there, because nobody else can do it for you except for you. And so I would encourage you to continue pressing on, fill your cup, and enjoy the ride of life.